Hello and welcome back to another segment of Terminating Low Voltage Cables on the Kipper Datacom channel. And I'm Ron with IDEAL, and again, thanks for coming to the shop. And in this segment, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the basic Datacom testers we sell for testing, category 5E cable, and actually this one will do more than just that. But when I look at these basic testers, they're testers I can really afford to give to just about anybody in the industry. And both these testers are referred to as wire map type testers. And when I look at them, we have the Link Master type product, and when we have the multimedia Vdv meter, which means voice, data, video, so it does coax, phone, as well as category testers. But again, both these being basic wire mappers. Now, when I look at wire map testing, that's the basics we're supposed to do when we look at category cabling and really a lot of cables. But when we look at category cabling, we do wire map tests. We look for opens in the cabling where there might be a cable cut somewhere along the wire. We look for shorts in that cabling where maybe you've got a couple wires tied together that shouldn't obviously be tied together. You can run across reversals, and this is where I will take, say, two conductors, the blue and white blue, on one end and connect them properly. But on the far end of that cable, it goes down blue, white, blue, the opposite. So that is reversed in that cabling. And we can also obviously have miswires, and that happens quite a bit, especially when we run across like plenum wire where the colors aren't too brilliant in it, and it's very easy to mix up the blue and the green and the orange and the brown. Or you're making a mistake with 568A and accidentally putting 568B on the far side might happen that as well. Now, this thing called a split pair, it is also one of these things that both these testers do. And beware of testers that are really inexpensive in the industry, because they won't do this last one. And these are the 5 things you need to test. And this is where we're going to actually make sure that pairs are twisted together, because that twisting in the cabling eliminates all that noise and crosstalk, which is really important. And so we want to make sure that twisting is there in the pairs. Now, so say I accidentally on pin 4 put white, blue, blue like I should be, okay? And then I put on pin 5, instead of white, blue, I'll use, say, white, green accidentally, okay? Now I've got a signal going down the pins 4 and 5, and that's blue and white, green, not blue and white, blue. Now, on the other end of the cabling, I'll do the exact same miswire. So I've actually done the exact same thing wrong on both ends. Well, a normal tester that's looking for continuity in the cabling would say, hey, is pin 4 hooked to pin 4 and pin 5 to 5? And the tester would say yes. But since those two conductors in that cabling are not twisted together, they can't eliminate noise or crosstalk in a pair. And again, that's a problem we call a split pair. And it's interesting, back in the day when 10 base T was king, it didn't even notice this as a wiring error. And today, with fast Ethernet and beyond the gigabit, 100 base T and above, it is a major wiring error. And back in those days, we had to go out and replace a bunch of patch cords that were miswired like that. So we saw stuff like that in the industry. So let's take a closer look at these two testers. And when you do, you're going to find out that both of these are end-to-end connectivity type testing products. In other words, we've got to plug something into either end of the cable. So with one of the testers, you're going to take, say, the remote in and plug a patch cord into it. And then you'll have an outlet someplace in a room someplace that you're obviously needing to check the cabling in the wall. So we'll plug that into that tester in that outlet in that room someplace. And then, of course, on the other end of the tester, we'll take the main unit and we'll plug another patch cord into it, and then of course we'll plug that into an outlet in our panel or wherever the other end of this cable is. And so we'll test both ends of the cable with the products. And again, these are referred to as end-to-end connectivity type testers. So again, let's take a closer look at both of these, and we'll give you a little bit more idea of what they do. Here's a closer look at the LinkMaster product from Ideal Industries, and again, this is one of these basic wire map testers. And here we have a remote unit, and we have kind of a main unit. And very simply, the way to use it is you plug the remote into one end of the cable, and of course the master in the other. So I'm going to take a known patch cord and plug the remote into one end of it, and then I'm going to take the tester and plug the other patch cord here at the top of the tester, and then I'm just going to hit the button once and see what it gives me. And what you'll see there are 4 solid green lights, and that's what you're looking for in the result. That indicates that the main unit sees the remote unit, it sees all the pairs, and everything's good. There's nothing wrong with the cables. Now, if we were going to try to see what is wrong with a bad cable, and so I'm going to take the remote here and plug a bad cable into that end of it, and then I'm going to take the other end of the bad cable and plug it to the top of the tester, and then hit this button once more. And now what we see here is a little bit different. You see 3 green flashing lights and 2 red ones. Now, what that's indicating is that there's something wrong with those pins 1 and 2, 3 and 6 and 4 and 5, and something that was wrong with them is either it's a miswire or reversal, because that's what it's telling us down below. Now, pin 7 and 8 isn't lighting up at all, and that is indicating that is an open in that pair, and so there's something wrong with that, so that's why it's not indicating. Now, these testers do have what's called a diagnostic mode, and the way so we want to know a little bit more what's actually wrong. We push the button and hold it down this time, and now the tester's going to light up everything, and then it's going to go through this what we call diagnostic mode, and you'll see some green lights above and some red lights below flashing at you, and the tester's trying to tell you what's wrong with the cabling. So here on top it lights up once, twice, and then below it says reversal, so that's indicating a reversal in that pins 1 and 2. So on one side we have a reversal in that particular cabling. So that's what we mean. So again, we'll see it one more time here. I'll hit the button once, goes into basic mode, hit it in diagnostic again, lights up again, and then 1, 2, lit up twice there in reversal. Now 3, 6, and 4 and 5 light up, and it says miswired. It does it again, and that's indicating it's miswire in pins 3 and 6 and 4 and 5 is what that was telling us. Again, that's what's wrong. So we're going to see that again here, and then lastly, you're going to see the brown pair, or the 7 and 8. Light up once here, light up once, and nothing lit up after that. So that's indicating an open in that particular pair. So going into this diagnostic mode can give us a little bit more information of what might be actually wrong with the cable itself. And that's the LinkMaster product, and as you can see, it's a fairly easy product to use, fairly easy to understand, and again, I can afford to give this to just about anybody. And so let's take a closer look at the next tester up, which is the Vdv Tester. Here we have kind of a close-up view of the IDEAL Vdv Multimedia Tester, and again, Vdv stands for Voice, Data, Video. And when we look at the main unit here, you'll find 4 buttons on the front of it. Of course, it says those basic words. You also see a tone button for doing tone generation, and these are the basic functions of the meter. On the main unit, you'll see on the top kind of a coax remote here right on the end. You'll find a phone port also, as well as a category port for attaching those wires to, again, the main unit. And when we look at the back of the tester, there's a little black section here in the back that says remote, and we pull that remote out. There is, again, a remote here that we can attach to the other end of our cables. And again, there's a phone port and a Cat5 port, and then there also is a coax remote here in the back. If we remove out the back end here, we can put on actually an outlet in a room someplace, and that will then, of course, send a signal back to the tester that's in the other room that we can attach, again, the wire to the top of the tester. But if I simply just took the remote and plugged it into the top of the tester, and then I'm going to, of course, hit the video button over here, it's now taking a test for me, and on the very top you'll see the lights are flashing, it says video, and right below it says pass. And then it also says over here number 1, meaning it sees the first remote out there. And these testers do come with multiple remotes if you need them. And if I put the 5th remote out in the kitchen or someplace like that, and I got that indication here, well, then the wire I just tested would be the one that fed the kitchen. So now, of course, I would pull the remote out of the top of the tester here. The tester should indicate an open. And that's all it's going to do for coax, is basically look for opens and shorts in that coax cable. And if I push any other button, it should turn the tester off for me. Okay. Now, if I want to do basic phone testing, well, then I would have to take a phone cord and plug it into the top of the tester here, and attach a basic phone little cord here. And I'm going to take the remote and plug that into the other end of this wire, like that. Okay. And now I'm going to do a test on voice. So here I'm going to hit the button that says voice. The tester comes on, and it indicates that it's seeing several different things now, actually. And across the very top, again, it's flashing voice, so you're doing voice testing. And when you look at 2 rows of numbers, you see 2 rows, 1 through 6, and the top row is what it should be, the bottom row is what you actually have. Now, since this is a 4-wire cable here, you're only seeing 4 of the 6 wires the tester could see. So pins 1 and 6 are not open on the bottom row, or on the bottom row, and again, it's indicating an open there. Then on the middle pairs, you're seeing a complete reversal of pairs here, so they're completely opposite of each other. Of course, the tester is also saying reverse over here as well. And when you look at typical telephone patch cords like this, old analog phones required that those wires be reverse wired like this in order for it to work properly. New digital phones don't care about it. They're not really polarity sensitive, so the tester here actually shows this as an error, but if I was looking for that in an old phone cord, this would be fine. Now, you also see it saying split over here too. If you were worried about using category 3 wire for phone applications, and you're worried about split pairs in cabling, the tester would indicate that this is a split because this wire is not twisted, so it's indicating that split pair indication to me. So in order to turn the split pair portion off, I'm going to hit the voice button, hold it down, and it's going to say split pair off, and now that indication is now gone off the meter. So, and that is again basic voice testing for the cabling. And if I remove the cable out of the tester, it should indicate an open here again. And again, if I hit any other button, it'll turn the tester back off. Now, if I want to do data testing, I would then take a known good patch cord and plug it into my remote here. And then on the top of the tester, again, I would take a good patch cord, plug it in the top of the tester. And since we're going to do data testing, we're going to hit this button over here that says data. And I'm going to hit that button once, and it's going to let go of it. And again, you'll see across the very top the word data kind of flashing, and it's letting us know that we're doing a data test. You see 2 rows of numbers that match. And again, the top row of numbers is what you should have. The bottom row of numbers is what you actually have. And of course, the tester says pass because this is a good cable. So that's what you want it to look like when you see a good indication. Okay. Now, if we're going to do a test and check for something that's bad, well, I'll take a bad patch cord and plug it into this remote. And again, on the top of the tester, I will take that bad patch cord and plug it in the top of the tester. And the tester was already in the data mode, and it's going to actually start making the new test for you here now. And you're seeing several miserrors in this cabling. And again, the top row number is what it's supposed to be, the bottom row is what you actually have. And on the bottom row, you see pins 1 and 2, it says 2, 1, not 1, 2. So that's indicating there's a reversal in those first 2 pairs. And then on the bottom row, you see 3 and 4 are not flashing, and that's indicating that there's nothing wrong with those 2 individual conductors. But 5 and 6 are, and you'll see that they're reversed. So they're, under 5 it says 6, and under 6 it says 5. So, and what we've done here in category cabling is in pins 4 and 5 make a pair, and pins 3 and 6 in category cabling make a pair. And we've just basically miswired the 5th and 6th pairs here, and that's why they're both flashing, and it says miswire up above. And of course, pins 7 and 8, there's nothing lit up underneath those, and that's indicating that there's an open in that individual pair itself. So that's kind of basic data testing that the tester will do for us. And of course, if we run across problems in doing testing like that, we might want to then actually trace our wires. And the tester does have a button on it that says tone. So if I push the button in tone here, now the tester up top here says data tone. You see all 8 numbers lit up. And on the bottom it says high-low, indicating it's putting a tone out now on the cabling that I can pick up with a probe device, and this is again for tracing of wire. So if I take the probe device and hold my button down and push it next to the outlet here, coming out of the meter, it is now making a sound that the probe can pick up, so when I go to trace cables. Okay? And again, the tester is indicating it's putting a tone across all 8 of the conductors. Now if I hit that tone button one more time, it's now going to put a tone down pins 1 and 2. So I'm just putting a tone down that pair. Hit it again, it's going to go down pins 3 and 6, 4, 5 in the middle, and then 7, 8. So I can put a tone down an individual pair if I'd like to. If I keep pushing buttons here, it's going to say 1 there. So now I'm just putting a conductor or tone down just the first pair, then the second. And if I keep going all the way across here, I can put a tone down each individual one, and eventually it'll go back to putting a tone down all of them. You can also, if you care to, put multiple different tones. So the tester has different tone modes, meaning sounds. Meaning I can set one to one sound and another to another sound and actually go trace 2 wires at one time. And the way we do that is we'll push this tone button down, and it will go to a high setting. Push it down and hold it, it goes down with just a solid setting. Now it's putting out just a solid tone. Okay? And so there are actually several different tones we can actually use on the meter to, again, trace wires and emit different sounds or tones down to cables. And again, if I hit any other buttons, it should turn the tester off for me. So there you have it. That's the IDEAL Vdv Multimedia Tester, and it's a great product. Virtually everybody ought to have one of those. Well, welcome back, and hopefully that explains some of the differences in these two basic testers that we sell here at IDEAL Industries. And again, we have the LinkMaster type product, which has been around for a long time, really since the middle 90s someplace, and has been an industry standard for a lot of years, and just a great meter, something I could hand to just about anybody out there, affordable wise, you know. And it even does great basic data testing and does those 5 basic tests. Now the Vdv is the upsale of this thing, and it's going to be a little bit more money, usually somewhere around $100, a little over. And these are usually somewhere under $100 in LinkMasters. And it's great if I'm a tech that also needs basic coax and basic phone testing as well. And as a technician, most of us need to do all 3 of those. So I kind of think that's the meter you might want to purchase. So there you go. That's the differences in the 2 meters. Again, thanks for coming to another segment of terminating low voltage cables. I'm Ron with IDEAL Industries, and we'll plan on seeing you the next time.